Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm stamping with Blossoming Basket, and I'm going to use the Stamparatus to help me do a little bit of precision stamping. I have the very small image of the butterfly from this stamp set, and I'm going to use the Hinge Step technique, if you want to call it a technique. Now there's two different ways to set up the Stamparatus. If you have a red rubber stamp set, be sure to remove the foam core piece, and that way you have just the right amount of room. See, there you go, perfect stamp. Now remove the door, hinge it down one hinge, and then just keep proceeding down. And this image is in the same spot, but in a measured degree lower, all the way down the paper. This is just fantastic. I'm so excited to come up with all sorts of new ways that I can create fabulous card projects using this Stamparatus tool. I then pick the door off, clean it with a microfiber cloth that I've gotten from my local dollar store, and I've got my stamp clean and I'm ready to switch it out for something else. The Stamparatus comes with two separate doors. One goes down the top and the other goes down the side, and so there's 4 different stamping surfaces. I don't use the Stamparatus to replace my clear blocks. I use it as an aid or a tool. And you can see the first time I didn't get a solid stamped image. If this basket were on a clear block, I would have to grab another piece of paper. However, all I did was add more ink to the image while it was still in the tool, and I got a perfect stamped image. This is awesome, guys. The Stamparatus will be available on June 1st in my online store. I've stamped in Tuxedo Black, which is an ink that is friendly for Stampin' Blends, alcohol markers. So I'm going to add some color to the flowers first. This is going to be an image that is going to kind of stay on the left-hand side of the card and be raised. I'll place a piece of designer paper as a very small strip, and then those butterflies that I've stamped down to the card base will show through on the right-hand side of the card. The coloring is not done any really special way today. I've started out with a medium tone or a light highlight on the flowers, brought in the darker tones, and then gone back to the dark tones to go back in with the medium. If that sounds a little bit confusing, sometimes I get confused too. Basically, I want to be able to lay down a base layer, then I go in and make some of my highlights and establish where the light area is going to be, then go and add the dark areas, and then I blend it all together with a medium toned marker. This is a formula that I use very often, and it's not anything tricky. Just pick the colors out, identify which colors are going to be your deep ones and your light ones, and use the color lifter to give yourself some nice highlights too. After I have done all my coloring, I've used the Stampin' Up white chalk marker to go to some of the areas that I would like to give little white area spots to, such as the center of the flowers. It really makes a difference. Now I'm using the light smoky slate, which is a light gray, and I'm adding a drop shadow to the right hand side of all of the images, just the main images. The black journaling pen is going to help me to enhance some of those black stamped lines. This is going to make the white areas stand out and the colored areas stand out a bit more too. I stamped the tag image onto a scrap of paper, and I'm using a glue dot to hold it in place. The tag is going to hang out from the basket just a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch over where I would like to have the edge of the paper go to where the transition is on the designer series paper. This is going to help transition the images of the left-hand panel to the right-hand panel. The strip of paper is from the Sweet Soiree Designer Series paper pack that's available in Stampin' Up's Occasions catalog in my online store. Sometimes all that's needed is just one strip, and that's just enough to be able to create a breakup in the design and complement some of the colors that I featured in my coloring. The left-hand panel is now raised on Stampin' Dimensionals. I've colored in that tag and added a linen thread bow. Very simple. I'm adding a few of the really small sequins from the metallic sequins assortment. The inside of the card is kept very simple, echoing the colors and the image of the butterfly that was stamped onto the card base with the Stamparatus. And I'm attaching it inside with some liquid glue. Really fun project to create. Looks like springtime here on this card. Thank you so much for joining me today. All of the products are listed below in the video description, and as always, there's more information over at my blog. The link to my blog is just below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching the video. Have a good day!